Do you want me to eat a cookie erotically?
This is drunk feminism.
This kind of looks like a boob. There's a nipple right here, but there are a lot of sprinkles around the area. Maybe we can like lick some of these off so that we only have an aerial.
Erotically to lick the cookie, please.
I'm trying to give you an aerial look.
Aerial. Yo, consent is fucking necessary.
No, nipple actually has many nerves and many.
Like all the sprinkles.
Yep. Yeah.
I just want to talk about consent because it's so important, and like it's easy for us to in theory say like, oh, we're all about consent, you know, but do you actually enact that in your personal life? You can talk about consent all you want, call yourself feminist all you want, but then the second you like coerce somebody into having sex with you or coerce your partner into doing something they don't want to do, like that's not okay at all. And I feel like a lot of people look for like, you know, they do this and they're like, no, but I'm a feminist, so I couldn't have done that, you know, like, or try to justify their actions because they're a feminist. And, you know, a lot of people say, like, oh, consent is sexy, and, like, sometimes it's not, you know. And I was just reading about that the other day, like, consent cannot be sexy, it can be awkward and all that kind of stuff, but it is still necessary. I don't care if it kills your mood, it is still necessary. You ask for consent no matter what. I don't care if you identify as a feminist, I don't care if you think you know where you're going with this, consent is so important.
I don't think, like, you know, necessarily when people are saying consent is sexy that it means it has to be done in a sexy way, because I think it, like, for me at least, just to know, I think it's really important because a lot of people get caught up in the fact of just, like, you know, if you're having sex and you're in the moment and just believing that means that a person is in the mindset and is ready to have sex or continue with what you're doing. I think it's really important to check in with your partner or the people you're having sex with, because people, like, you don't always realize that even if they're not saying no specifically, that doesn't mean that they are wanting what's happening or, like, are ready for it. And so it's important. And I think, like, for me, when saying, like, consent is sexy, because I think that's a good slogan to use, because, even if it's the most awkward thing to just say, like, are you sure this is what you want, even, like, you're really drunk and it's really awkward or whatever, like, that's still fucking sexy to me, because you're, like, checking to make sure that I'm ready and I'm willing and I'm okay and I'm aware, and I don't know. So, like, consent definitely is the fucking most important thing, and to just, like, check in with your partners, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, checking in is so important. And I think, you know, you can recognize when someone's fully comfortable with their consent and when they're not. Like, we want, like, enthusiastic verbal consent. I always say that because, you know, if they're just, like, if you can tell by their body language that they're not fully comfortable, like, you have to make sure that there's open communication there, because a lot of people feel like they can't say no, you know, mid-sex, but, like, they can, and even if you want to respect that, like, you need to check in just to make sure. And yeah, I think, like, I love open communication during sex. I think it's fantastic. But, like, I could see where a lot of people will be like, oh, like, I want to, like, check in and ask these questions, but, like, that might kill the mood. But, like, it's still so important to do anyway, because when there's mutual respect going on, like, there's nothing better than that, you know? Like, I can't have good sex unless I know there's mutual respect going on. And even if there's, like, an awkward dialogue happening there, like, it still needs to happen, and, like, that makes me feel better about the whole thing overall. So.